On October 23rd, the Catholic Church celebrates the life of Saint John of Capistrano. Saint John of Capistrano was a Franciscan priest whose life included a political career, extensive missionary journeys, efforts to reunite separated Eastern Christians with Rome, and a historically important turn at military leadership. Invoked as a patron of military chaplains, Saint John of Capistrano was praised by Saint John Paul II in 2002 General Audience for his glorious evangelical witness as a priest who gave himself with great generosity for the salvation of souls. John was born in Italy during 1385. He lost his father, a French or possibly German knight who had settled in Capistrano at a young age. John's mother took care to have him educated, and after learning Latin, he went to study both civil law and church law in Perugia. An outstanding student, he soon became a prominent public figure and was appointed governor of the city at the age of 26. This saint's life is an apt illustration of the immeasurable ways of divine providence. John showed high standards of integrity in his civic career, and in 1416 he labored to end a war that had erupted between Perugia and the prominent house of Malatesta. But when the nobles had John cast into a dungeon, he began to consider seriously the state of his soul, and when he was released upon payment of a huge sum, he had made up his mind to abandon the world entirely. Encountering Saint Francis of Assisi in a dream, he resolved to embrace poverty, chastity, and obedience with the Franciscans. Abandoning his possessions and social status, John joined the religious order on 4th October 1415. He found a mentor in Bernardine of Siena, known for his bold preaching and his method of prayer focused on the invocation of the name of Jesus. Taking after his teacher in these respects, John began preaching as a deacon in 1420 and was ordained a priest in 1425. So outstanding was his success that before long the largest churches could not contain his hearers, and he would preach to some 20,000 to 30,000 in the open squares. Laity and clergy alike would go out to meet him in solemn procession, bringing all business to stand still. Great miracles of healing accompanied his preaching. John successfully defended his mentor from a charge of heresy made against his way of devotion. A succession of popes entrusted important matters to John, including the effort to reunite Eastern and Western Christendom at the Ecumenical Council of Florence. Drawing immense crowds in his missionary travels throughout Italy, John also found success as a preacher in Central Europe, where he opposed the Hussites' error regarding the nature and administration of the Eucharist. After Constantinople fell to Turkish invaders in 1453, Pope Nicholas V sent John on a mission to rally other European leaders in defense of their lands. Nicholas' successor, Pope Calixtus III, was even more eager to see the Christian world defend itself against the invading forces. When the Sultan Mehmed II sought to extend his territorial gains into Serbia and Hungary, John joined the celebrated general Janus Hunandi in his defense of Belgrade. At the critical moment when his men were about to yield, he leapt into the fray himself and, with the cross raised aloft, swept them to victory. Neither John nor the general, however, would survive long past the battle. Weakened by the campaign against the Turks, Hunyadi became sick and died soon after the victory at Belgrade. John survived to preach Janus Hunyadi's funeral sermon, but his own extraordinary life came to an end after a painful illness on October 23, 1456.